Hi Roxanne, hi Patricia, hi Larry. I see Miss Kwamana says she'll be back to vote. Roxanne says she read and ready. And that is it. We know the assignment. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest about my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. And I'll strive in everything I do to work together with every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. And I do love my country, Trinidad and Tobago, red, black, and white, where all races, no matter who they are, no matter what spiritual affiliation they're involved with, it does not matter. Everybody is entitled to equal space. Every creed and race. I love that. I love that. No matter Trinidad, no matter Africa, India, China, Syria, Lebanon, is Mother Trinidad and Tobago. We have to build here. And those who don't want to stay with us to build here, they're free to fly and go. Buy their visa to go to Britain, wherever it is. Bye-bye. But we would stay. When I say we, all races who want to build this country. Thank you all for always coming to stay locked in and tuning to me. Love you all so much for it. Thank you for that support always. You all make it even more better and exciting for me. So hi to Hadda, Clifford. Hear me, Clifford, now Christopher, Asim Woodfin, Jenny. Thank you all. So let me start this thing one time now, because hello, hey, oh God, Grey Goose must be flowing. It must be flowing like that. People must be can't get up. People must be all under the bed. What we gonna do? Hey, if you ain't ready and ready, if you're in red and ready, somebody now send me something there, but they send me too late. I really wouldn't be able to play. So let me play this one here. And this is what a young lady, and listen to how she speaks about the Tobago airport.
Hi guys, come with me to the new airport opening ceremony. So it had a lot of traffic. Let's start there. But as you got in there and you easily found the park, it was absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I really had to take my time and really just take in how beautiful the airport is. So this is where I got inside and I found a seat in the back because I got late. And this is a program, and this is my grandmother. We go together real bad. So the ceremony is really beautiful. It had a lot of speeches, and it wouldn't have been good if you didn't listen to the speeches. You know, luckily I did get a closer view of the stage, and the speech from the Prime Minister was well done. I have to say it was very particular and very specific. We already know that when the Prime Minister is finished with his speech, that means it's basically finished. So I was looking for the food. So when I got the food, I had to take the tour of the airport. So this is like your main entrance, guys. I was just taking in everything. It was so big and so beautiful. So we started at the entrance and went to the old gates, and I think we went straight to domestics, and everything was just so nice. We already know that the airport wouldn't officially open until like later this year. I think it's before summer, but yeah, don't quote me on that. But yes, it was like all I saw was views. Like every bit of it was just views. And then we went upstairs, and I think upstairs was even better than downstairs, obviously, because the views were even better. And I live for a good sunset, and it was a perfect time for some sunset shots. So you will see some of that here. I just put my phone, my camera on 0.5, and I just videotaped everything. I was cheesing. Of course, I had to put myself in it. Yeah, the sun was given. How cool it is to have a prayer room. I find this was very, very innovative, and I mean, never see come see, but it's a really good idea. I love it. Right? We passed first class lounge. We didn't get to go inside everywhere, but we just passed by everything. And I think these are the international, where the international gates are. So this is the waiting area, and I got a snapshot of the interview with Watson Duke. Then we had the opportunity to get some way better sunset shots, but I digress. It was really nice. Yeah, that's basically it. I just really loved how I got to experience this. It's like a day in history. Like other persons did not get to experience it, and I feel very grateful for that. And I think that this new airport will bring a lot of opportunities, a lot of job opportunities, a lot of tourism for us. This is a big thing for Tobago, and I am showing off that. Thank you, Prime Minister. Okay, I can't wait for you all to see this in person. I hope that you guys come to Tobago and have so much fun, and I hope that you guys get a sunset shot as well. Anyways, bye.
So that was from a young person. So if all you see was that old people was walking through, and wherever you're getting this now through the eyes of a young person, and I hope you all enjoyed it as I enjoy watching her doing her tour. So let me continue. There, hi Cheryl. There was a young pilot from Tobago who I think would have injured himself diving off, if I'm not mistaken, off some. Who's trying to call me? Diving off some I don't know what he was, he jumped into the water, something and injured himself. And there was conversation, I think, about him not being able to walk again. A real handsome guy. But I'm seeing here that I think people by now who know me should know Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I have my program from 5:30. Apparently they don't. So this is, let me try and find it. Oh, let me find it. Right. So I saw this. Hi, Sharon. So it says here, this is, ooh, handsome, isn't he?
You skydiving, but I was telling niggas what I was doing. You hit your head on top of the drink water. But I want to learn here. So it's that. It's a black hole, it's a black. It's a black hole.
Come on, okay. You need to trust. I don't want to show anyone, I'm just going to read from it. So it says here Caribbean Airlines pilot Kristen Battersby underwent emergency surgery. It was 3 days ago on Monday, 3 days ago on Monday at hospital and is on his way to full recovery. Pilot, again they said pilot Christian Battersby was transferred to Trinidad over the weekend and had a successful surgery on Monday to enable him to walk again. So he was knocked unconscious on Saturday when he hit his head on an object after jumping off the Pigeon Point jetty. So that is very good news because it means to say that the chances are he can continue to do what he loves doing, obviously, being a pilot. And we need to be careful. You need to be careful when you're jumping off like thing in water and stuff because sometimes it have things under the water that you don't see and you're jumping and stuff. So if you're not sure the area that you're bathing and stuff, be a little more cautious and things. So I'm thankful that based on what I read, he would be okay. I'm also seeing here that young brother was in St. Vincent. St. Vincent, although I've never went, it is like my home. My both parents are Vincentian, my grandparents and my mother and father side of Vincentian. My grandmother, my grandfather on my mother's side is from Grenadian, so St. Vincent is like home, and that's why I always will tell you all I am of the Garifuna people of St. Vincent. Because my grandmom, if you see her, wouldn't know that was my grandmom. Yeah, because the look is totally different. But we are one peoples. So young brother was there, and Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, he does the everything. So this was him and young brother.
What are you doing? Take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to mind up yourself. I know yourself. And then she bubble and she bubble and she bubble and it's the greatest man. I will do the work. I hear it. You don't have to rise in the morning, as you say. So come from the dusk till dawn, as we rise up every morning. We fly through the skies like plane. Our people will rise again. Hand in hand is how we start. Everyone can play their part. Man, woman, and child coming. Let the cleansing begin. The whole of society, everybody, we go apart. Not just individualism. People working together and creating love. What are you doing?
So I thought that was really beautiful. The young brother there apparently is in St. Vincent. Spreading the love, we are one people at the end of the day. And also, I'm seeing here that, listen to this message that was sent to us by an artist who feels very passionate about us, or some who continue to prolong this country. We have so much to give. We are positive people. We have our issues, yes, but we must start to spread some positivity too. So just listen to him.
It's the best way to poison our people, to poison the stories that they tell themselves. And for so long, I feel like the main narrative about Trinidad and slowly Tobago is that it's a bad place because there's so much murder, there's so much killing, there's so much corruption. And we've already get the counter narrative. But this place, our home, is beautiful beyond belief. And some of you might find these days that I really happen on this fact. But I feel like I have to. I feel like we have to. We have to reintroduce the narrative of how beautiful this place is. So here's what I want you to do. I would like you all to, as you go about your day, it could be the simplest thing, interacting with your grandmother, helping somebody in the street, buying a mango, planting a mango tree, going by the beach, whatever it is. Let us show people that this, our home, is a beautiful place. And I'd like you all to tag We Are Freetown Inland, use the song Take Me Home, and let's brighten up the space around the town. We know that there are many things that we need to fix. We know that we have a lot of work to do here, but at the same time, we love this place. And I think we should show that now.
Yeah. So that's the artist that song Take Me Home. But you already heard it in the background, Take Me Home. Right, so he's just saying, let me spread the love, so tag this song to somebody and let us keep spreading the love. We have a lot of positive. Yes, we do have negative, but we also have a lot of positive in this country. And we need to remember that, because there are some spaces in this world where if we go, we'll be running to get back home so fast. Yeah, so let us appreciate. I also saw some this, and it piqued my attention. It's a religious observance in India, and it's the Hindus who are observing it. I don't know when we just had, I think, the Hindus celebrating Pagwa and what it means to them. The color red was all there, so I don't know how Kanapasabi Sessa was able to endure that after she had such an aversion to the color red. So I saw this, and I think it's two of our own would have gone up to observe it. So let's take it in with them.
A traditional welcome as we arrive in Uttar Pradesh, India. We're heading to one of its oldest known cities, Prayagraj, where millions are attending Mahakumbh Mela, the world's largest spiritual and cultural gathering. This sacred event is native to the northern state, where three rivers merge at the Triveni Sangam. It's estimated that over 400 million pilgrims would make the journey to dip in these holy waters. On the banks of the Sangam are Ankaras, the sadhus, holy men who have descended from the mountains and caves of the Himalayas just for this occasion. These spiritual sanctuaries play a significant role in the festival, allowing sadhus to unite in tradition and practices. Most of these sadhus are naked and smeared in ash, a sign of renunciation from the worldly objects of pleasure and pain. We are also introduced to the Kina Akara, or transgender sadhus, who have found acceptance at the Kumbh Mela festival. They share their journey and fight for rights in India. These camps are as fascinating as they are spiritually engaging. Millions of pilgrims will take up temporary residence in these ankaras as they seek darshan, an opportunity to interact with their gurus. While Kumbh Mela usually occurs every 6 to 12 years, this event is said to be particularly significant and rare. Due to planetary alignment, the Mahakumbh Mela is occurring after 144 years. The next day, we get our first glimpse of the holy waters. People have come from all over the world for an opportunity of a lifetime.
Whoever visiting this Mahakumbh is the first and the last of his generation.
And there's one common purpose: to experience profound liberation from sin by simply touching these holy waters of Mother Ganga. We learn that some people save for years to attend the Kumbh Mela.
To be all the way from Trinidad and able to touch this water, it's just something that words can't describe.
While many will make their offerings from the banks, there's an opportunity to head to the center of the Sangam, where the three holy rivers coincide. It's at this particular spot that millions of people come from across the world to cleanse themselves for a spiritual blessing. The river banks are crowded. Here, there's no distinction between rich or poor, caste or status. In the world's largest spiritual and cultural gathering, millions are united in faith. At the time of our visit in January, these waters are cold, almost 10 degrees. But it doesn't stop devotees from jumping in, some splashing around before making their offerings. You don't have to be religious to feel the energy at the Mahakumbh Mela. These holy waters carrying the prayers and offerings of millions in an extraordinary convergence of spirituality, culture, and human connection. Ria Ramvali, CNC3 News, Prayagraj, India.
I think next time, not next time, they should have carried Kamala Pasabi so she need, in my opinion, I given some spiritual cleansing or something with her behavior. So let me continue. But it was interesting to see, and then they spoke about the alignment of the stars. Remember, I spoke about that. I think on Monday, all the planets are aligned, and the year of the Jubilee, and all the things that happen with that. So apparently, this is really something that is worth looking into. There's a vibes and an energy that you're seeing. You're seeing all them who into confusion and back and all they fighting up the self and they eating up the self right now. And truth is coming out. People are seeing the truth. People are speaking the truth. And people are not standing up for the nonsense that usually happens in this country, especially with some wars fighting on this country and all that. They are answering back and responding positively, of course, and telling them, no, we're not going to take We're not going to take that this constant, we're suffering, and we're hungry and we're suffering. No, we're not going to take that. That is not a true description of our country. And I will continue to say there will always be persons in societies who are less fortunate. Trinidad and Tobago is no exception. Crime also is no exception. All over the world has crime. Crime is not an African thing, and not an Indian or Chinese or Syrian, Lebanese thing or Caucasian thing. It's a human thing. So don't ascribe crime to the black face and to us as a community as if we alone or some of we children or some of we family or whatever alone are the ones who commit crimes in this country. There's white collar crime that nobody seems to pay attention to, but white collar crime, that one with the pen, sometimes it's even more dangerous than the one that's snatching a chain or a bag. Okay, because generations could be hurt by white collar crime. So let me continue. So recently somebody alerted me to an incident that happened on in a car, a taxi, apparently it's a Marabella taxi, where a driver apparently would have attacked a passenger who, a female, a woman, and the attack was inside the taxi, and when she came out, it continued outside where he started to put on a proper beating on her and that kind of thing. But I didn't find the video, and somebody told me that the video is very kind of something that I wouldn't want to play. But the president of the Marabella Taxi Association has spoken also. They are taking action, so just listen.
Blessed day, each and everyone. Hope you all fine and doing well and safe and everything, right? In regards to the guy, the taxi driver on Marabella stand, right? I presently liaising with my secretary to do up a letter so that I will give to this gentleman. I'll let him know he's no longer a part of Marabella Taxi Drivers Association, right? Because this, we getting a lot of feedback from this in regards to people wanting to travel with Marabella drivers now, and this coming to be a serious matter. And I initially thought about it the first time when I heard he did this, right? Because since last year, I dealing with this situation with this guy. Since last year, I spoke to him. Last year, I had the first interaction with him, with this thing with he cussing out people while they're walking on the streets, you know, especially only females there. He not doing it to no man. I don't know why, but I don't know if he didn't have a mother love or what is his problem, but presently, right now, he's no longer a part of Marabella Taxi Drivers Association, right? It's just for me to present this letter to him. So I'll link my secretary and he will put the necessary papers in order, and then we'll take steps from there. In regards to the police, I want to see if I could get on to the young lady or whoever it is was involved in the altercation with him, and see if we could both go by the station and see if we could resolve this, because this is not right. It is not right. In my eyesight, because I have children, right? I have a son, I have a daughter. My daughter is only 11 years. And I telling you, if somebody, I don't know how I go react or how I go deal with this situation if someone do my daughter, my mother, my sister, it could be any one of my family member, anybody do that to them. I don't know how I would react. I'm not saying I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do this. I don't know, because nobody knows the hour, nor the time, nor the minute, right? So presently, he's no longer a part of Marabella Taxi Drivers Association, And to confirm it, when he get his letters and it will be confirmed, it will be official, right, that he is no longer a part of Marbella Taxi Driver Association. Thank you very much and have a blessed day, each and everyone.
Right, so the Marbella Taxi Association president and
So I was sitting here for like
sorry about that, would have taken a decision to treat with that matter, and let's see how that goes. And I hope the woman who was involved in the altercation, that she doesn't suffer any physical injuries. I'm sure she would have emotional scars and mental scars from this, because you're talking about humiliation. Once you're talking about the abuse, you as a man say, you don't know how you react in those situations. Even as a woman, you don't know how you react if that happens to you, what you will do, if you will take it. So let's see how that goes. And again, I hope that the young lady, physically, she's not hurt, but I'm sure mentally and emotionally she would be. She would have some some scars, some traumas, and I hope that she gets whatever help that she needs. Let me just get this out of the way one time. Well, everybody know by now the election date was announced yesterday. Excuse me. The swearing in of, in fact, on Sunday, there was a conference, a delegate, I think that is what it is, with the PNM at City Hall, Port of Spain, and Dr. Rowley would have officially resigned as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And all the members of Parliament, based on the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, would have done their part in showing support behind Minister Stuart Young SC. So after that conference at the City Hall, they came across to the 41 candidates came across to the Woodford Square, which we call University of Woodford Square. That is where Dr. Eric Williams put on his bucket when he came back to Trinidad from England and started his lecture series. So it's very symbolic and historic. So Minister Stuart Young was announced as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and all the candidates were introduced. So everybody was expecting something, whatever, and then Monday we would have seen members of the cabinet would have been sworn in by the president, and again there were some changes in the cabinet, a reshuffling, and the only person that is was not a part of the cabinet before would have been the Minister of Finance. That is Mr. Vishnu, I think Dan Paul. But although he didn't face the polls, he can come in as a senator, and that was done. And I see they already want to test Madam Camille Robinson-Regis as the AG, because she's the AG, about whether or not Minister Vishnu Dan Paul, who is not a member of the cabinet, but because he was not voted in during the election, but being a senator, because they did it with Mrs. Jennifer Baptiste Primus when she went across, when she would have shown her political support for the People's National Movement. I think in 2010, she was the Industrial Relations Officer, in 2015, when the People's National Movement won the general election, she became the Minister of Labor. She didn't face the poll, but she became a senator, and through that. So Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis had to come out today for all the naysayers who saying that Minister Vishnu Dan Paul's appointment is illegal because he's not a senator and blah, blah, blah. So she came out and let them know what time it is. She spoke about the different areas in the Constitution. So I don't know if I was trying to test her ability as the AG, if she has knowledge of what. But the woman is a smart woman. She's a lawyer. She know himself. She know Kamala Prasad Bissessa, who was the AG after a brilliant Ramesh Lawrence Maraj or the UNC, and they bring in she because they fell out of favor with Ramesh Lawrence Maraj SC or KC, no SC, because of the fact he would have exposed the corruption in the Piako airport, and he would have brought Bob Lindquist, a Canadian forensic auditor or accountant auditor to this country, who would have discovered the amount of corruption in the airport, the building or the reconstruction of the airport, Piako, under the Basio Pandey's UNC. And they got rid of him, and they bring in Shifa Goboswet, and she didn't do anything much. That situation didn't move from here to there. Waste her time. She was Minister of Education to waste her time, take out corporal punishment, but nothing else. She has been a failure at everything she does, you know. And she became a failure as a political opposition leader and even a prime minister. Because they make she, you know, she didn't just come, is what Jack Ramji or Ramjack G or whatever you call it. It's that make she, Jack wanna make she, a queen maker, make she. So that's and all she wasn't good at. Who she was couldn't go forward to get no support from nobody. Had to make she over. So she failed at that too. So she's just a consummate failure, a serial failure. So as I was saying, before I got, by the way, distracted. So election is called. It's April the 28th. I see some religious bodies I can't remember which one of them are saying it's disrespectful to have the election during these religious observances. But the Shouta Baptist holiday is not this month then. When is Eid, and all these religious observances, by the time is the election, would they have already not passed? So I don't understand where is the disrespect. When we have Eid and when we observances are Eid or Shouta Baptist, wherever people just play other music than that, there are people that are in the road talking loud, some might be cussing, whatever. So I don't see anything unusual. It's not being held before all these observances. The election will be after all the observances. So I find the Prime Minister Stuart Young would have been very respectful on the PNM in calling a date like that. Well, you know, there's controversy about why they call it and whatever, but listen, there's something called strategy. And you use your strategies. Kamala Pasal-Bissessa didn't use her strategy in 2015 when she didn't call the election when it was constitutionally due, and she called it 3 months and 14 days after. Then all them analysts and them had problems with it. It wasn't that Kamala's strategy for whatever reason. So as I was saying, let me just take off the little shine here. So just recently, the little idiot girl from PSA, who win the PSA election, in my opinion, very questionable, would have indicated that her first order of business, let me play it here again because it's so incredulous that she would say, I don't know, look now, people just get hyper, yes, that her first order of business is to what's the word she was, unseat the People's National Movement. So apparently she's a political leader, and I don't know who she got directed from. So PSA is now, in fact, Sacrosanct is a political party apparently, and she's a political leader. So she wants to jump into the politics, right? And I want to ask the dunce, I wonder if she has 40, well, she have how much candidates right now? 13. So she has to make up 20 something or whatever for the amount. I wonder if she has them, and I wonder if the headquarters for her campaign, a campaign headquarters would be on 82 Abercrombie Street. And as I say again, big crap or small crap or sin, hammer, salt, man, woman, whatever, you will get it. You're no different than Batiste, you're no different than Juke. You put yourself in that space. And we'll continue to say again, and we'll keep saying it. Felicia Thomas, the tears of the public officers who voted for you, who depended, and even those who didn't vote for you, but whoever went and went into the PSA, those persons, those members will be looking to see how you would treat the person who will treat with the negotiations, job evaluation, appointments in the public service, issues that they're having with management, the grievances and all that. That is what people were waiting to hear. And instead, you tell them I don't have time to tell you. I go and fight the election with UNC to make sure UNC get into office. So your members apparently are just UNC members. You don't care about nobody else. So that's why I continue to say all members who support the PNM should drop out, because they're not going to get no representation from this woman. Because the same way they like to call all PNM people is African people, she might got somebody. Well, they know I support PNM and so many business. They might watch another person who is not involved in politics, don't vote, not interested in PNM, UNC, nobody, and say them as PNM, and they won't get any help. So I say, we didn't pay no $100 for you to go to unseat no government. So drop out and let UNC and let your financiers and them, but don't use PSA money or the building as collateral or nothing. Go and fight the election, you big duns. But as I was saying, the tears are the people, the public officers. Because while 80-something, 80,000 or close to that or a little less than that are public officers, all of them are not PSA members. However, whatever it is PSA negotiates on behalf of its members, the whole public service gets it. So by extension, the whole of the public service is waiting to hear something. They've been on 2013 salary since 2013, mean 2025. And Felicia Thomas is to blame, in my opinion, with what's in true why that has happened, and then with these. Because you would have gotten a settlement based on what Duke said since for the period 2014-16, in 2019, because he was all up in politics. He didn't care. He didn't want the government to look good. He didn't care about public officers. So he didn't open it. He said he's not opening it till 2020, and then we know it never opened, so we never know what we got for the General Council to agree to take it or not. So I blame her, because she was right there. She was General Secretary, right there, as I say, up under his crutch, figuratively speaking, and then she became first Vice President, right up under Liberty's crutch, figuratively speaking, and she did nothing. So she's a waste of time. So having said that, I'm saying again, Felicia Thomas, the political leader of Sacrosanct, who's sitting in PSA as some type of president, the tears of the public officers who were depending on you to do something for them, and for the members who be paying $100, they go fall on you. When it fall on you, it don't go fall on the ground, you go suffer because they go call your name and they're crying. You have to deal with that. Will Leroy Baptiste miss? Will Duke miss? All go fall on you, because you're an enabler. That is my opinion. So let me move on. So Karen Yunus Teixeira, the one who stormed a funeral, climb over a gate, and Hamil Smith, as I was always say, climbing the fence against you, and the pan should have rip and the saggy ball should have drop out for we to see a 1% balls or a white man balls or whatever. Yeah, following she. So they are part of Hope. Karen said hopeless, Karen gone. She leave Hope. So let me just read it. Yeah. Let me just see what it says here. This was in Guardian. 18 hours ago. Well, it's not 18 anymore. It's more than that, a little more than that now. It says here, Karen gives up hope. A deputy political leader of the Honesty, Opportunity, Performance and Empowerment, HOPE, party has resigned following a contentious joint meeting with the Community Reformative Network, CRM, NGO, and the National Transformation Alliance, NTA. Last Wednesday, the three groups met, but Karen Yunus Teixeira abruptly left, visibly upset. She later confirmed that she had been scheduled to speak on the state of the economy, but declined to elaborate on what led to her departure. When contacted, Hope political leader Timothy Hamil Smith revealed that Yunus Teixeira was displeased that her party flag was not hoisted before those of the NTA. He explained that the person responsible for setting up the flags arrived at 6:15 p.m. alongside Hope chairman Steve Alvarez, just 45 minutes before the 7 p.m. meeting was scheduled to begin. All flags were put up, but by then she had already had the block about them not being raised earlier. She was already distraught, I recall. It wasn't a matter of Hope doing as it were. We don't control NTA, number one, but two, yes, we were late. We would have liked to put up our flags earlier. I think her expectation were perhaps more than what we could provide for. My understanding is that she left the NTA. My understanding that she felt that the NTA was taking advantage. I don't think you could blame NTA for that, but that's how she felt at the moment, that hope flags weren't there. She felt that they were not being she felt that they were being dominated by NTA, but that wasn't the position. He said he hoped that to let tensions cool before addressing her concerns, noting that he has not yet received an official resignation letter. However, Nunes Teixeira made it clear that her decision was final. I am absolutely not part of the Hope or NTA. I could tell you that, she said. Meanwhile, NTA leader Gary Griffith said he was unaware that Nunes Teixeira had resigned from Hope, stressing that it was an internal party matter. She was upset that Hope people didn't put up their flag on time. What I did was to have the NTA people put up the flags on behalf of Hope after she started to complain. But I have no issue with that. That's Hope business. We are working with Hope and we'll continue to work with them. Despite the fallout, Hope, CNR and NTA met again as recently as yesterday, continuing coalition talks. Nunes Teixeira had been a minister and MP in the Patrick Manning-led PNM government, but resigned from the party in 2023. She had challenged the political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, for the leadership of the position. I want to give an opinion on this. I think Karen Nunes Teixeira no PNM going to cut all of them ass and she drop out before anything happens. Because they tell me you vex because they put up them a flag, Miss Lady. Say following coalition and somebody, because I see that as very trivial to resign from a party. So it had to have other things. That is smoke screen. There are other matters why that woman resigned from Hope. That is my opinion. It had nothing to do with no flag. She just used the flag, in my opinion, as an opportunity to go. Right? God said a damn choppiness. So let me continue. So Kamla Persad-Bissessar, all the time the ball, and just up until Monday, it had people outside the president house saying call election now. That's what I was saying. I understand it says UNC people are like call election now, call election now. Okay. It's just like when I was balling, Rowley must go. Rowley must go. Dr. Rowley said he went since 2020. He wasn't going to take part in the 2025 election. He said it, but they didn't hear. He dropped out and it's like they stunned. Like they want to say Rowley must stay. So they were just calling for the election. Kamla Persad-Bissessar has always been calling for election. Always. So the election is here. And Papa, hey, Kamla like she vexed. So let me see what's happening here. She's saying here, this was in the Trinidad Express, excuse me, this is Kamla saying, Young hurriedly call elections. New coalition political leader of the United National Congress, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, announced on Tuesday at the UNC headquarters, Shogunas, that a coalition of interest has been formed. The UNC will be joining forces with the Love Movement, led by Leonard Smith, the Progressive Empowerment Party, led by Philip Alexander, and the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, led by President General Ansel Roger, and other unions to contest the 2025 election. So he says the opposition leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, has called Prime Minister Stuart Young's calling of an April election date as a hurried attempt to avoid UNC legal action against him. Let me just stop it right here. So if Kamla Persad-Bissessar and UNC saying that Minister Stuart Young, no Prime Minister of this country, his swearing was illegal, how come all taking part in an election that this illegal Prime Minister called? Kamla Persad-Bissessar, all the people chip it over. And if he called the election hurriedly, or they can still take it to court because all they say that he did illegally. Or they feel he's shopping or what? It's just the same thing for 10 years. Or they say the People's National Movement, it's bad, it's wicked, it's this, it's falling apart, people suffering, but you never as far as I understand, ever carried a motion of no confidence against Dr. Rowley and his government when he was in the parliament for 10 years. Unlike him, when he was opposition leader, the amount of time he carried a no confidence vote against you and your leadership in the People's Partnership. So Kamala mislead your BS, yes? Let me read just a little more because me have patience for Kamala and it looked like she mind soaked and dripped in alcohol, that's my opinion. Shortly after the office of the Prime Minister yesterday published the April 28 general election date set by Prime Minister Young yesterday. Prasad Bisasa stated that our announcement was an attempt to avoid facing the courts on what she termed his illegal and unconstitutional appointment to the post. Last week, Prasad Bisasa warned that Young, Minister Sierra at the time, would face the brilliant UNC lawyers in this country's court should he replace outgoing Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley following his resignation. And I wonder if one of the brilliant UNC lawyers she's speaking about is Anna Ramlogal, who has found himself in some type of situation, I think in Belize, where they're questioning his legal behavior. Is it the same one also who the Privy Council had an unease with? Is that one of the brilliant lawyers she's talking about? Or is it Jaiwanti Lachmidial, who it is alleged has a fake profile page and coming out and talking and all that, so she can't use she page. It is alleged she page, yeah? They always say. She had to hide behind something else. Those are the lawyers she's talking about. Or is it Mr. Lala Essie who has departed her party because of her leadership style and her racism coming from it? Well, I don't think you could count on him, you know. Okay. The opposition leader also did not attend Minister Young's swearing-in ceremony on Monday, telling the Express it was unconstitutional. And there I go again. If you all know it is unconstitutional, how come none of the bright UNC lawyers, brilliant UNC lawyers, did not go and get a pre-action protocol letter and get away or call it thing habeas corpus, whatever the hell it is called it thing, and put an injunction to stop that swearing? You know, all they let it slide. Whole on Monday, all they do nothing. Tuesday announcement of the election and all this, still ain't do nothing, and you're still trying to tell me unconstitutional. Are you a constitutional lawyer? Because I heard one constitutional lawyer, I think he is, Martin Daly, SC, would have said nothing illegal was done. So, and I don't think you will miss Kamala Persad because they don't go to anything. Really, or they don't go to anything. Once all not in office, or they don't go to nothing. So she said, I will not attend anything that to give legitimacy to something that I think is unconstitutional. I do not intend to go to that ceremony, she said, and you will not miss, I'm sure. Asked for her reaction to the election date, Persad Bisasa doubled down on her stance, adding that MP Young, Prime Minister Young, would have had to face internal party election prior to the general election. And no, Kamala, he didn't have to, because the election for the political leader of the People's National Movement is not until next year. And there's nothing says that the political leader of the PNM has to be the Prime Minister. I don't think there's nothing written that says that. So if you have a situation where there's a political leader and there's a Prime Minister, two different persons, that will be nice testing the waters, not because it hasn't been done, that means it's illegal, because there's nothing saying that it's illegal to do that. MP on the PNM fully well know that his appointment was illegal and unconstitutional. His appointment would have been shown to be unconstitutional in the courts, and he would have been forced to face a PNM. Look, I ain't reading no more of this, in my opinion, brain-soaked alcohol brain. This is delusions. She said that Penelope Beckers would have decimated him in any internal election, and the PNM finances back would have been put down. No disrespect to Mrs. or MP Penelope Beckers. Why is the UNC so in love? I'm asking a question with Madam Penelope Beckers. Why? Because there are other persons. Why? Why you want so in love with her? So she said her party was ready to protect the country. Well, they didn't do anything because if you're saying what happened on Monday is illegal and you didn't bring a court case against the PNM, so you're not interested in quote unquote protecting nothing. So me reading no more. You go with illusions. So the guy who was Foster Cummins' campaign manager, I think it is, who has now gone to UNC to spill it all. And my thing is this, right? All them years you with Foster Cummins enjoying whatever, I don't know. I don't know if it's a paid position or I don't know what it is, right? It ain't my business neither. All the time you're there with Minister Foster Cummins. And it's only now you're going to say you're going to spill the beans, so you'll come. Whatever you think he was doing that was wrong, you were quite comfortable with it, I'm asking. Because you were eating something, I'm asking a question. And now that you're eating something again, I'm asking. And if for a favor, I'm asking. That now you join the UNC. Where's garbage? You just sit at PNM picking up garbage. Or UNC just pick up vomit. More than garbage, vomit. Because I've never seen anybody in the People's National Movement who has decided I'm going to leave the PNM. That's not what I was going to say. I've never seen anybody in the People's National Movement who the People's National Movement don't have some type of morals and ethics and values. If you can't abide by what's happening in the PNM based on the Constitution and the this and regular, whatever, you goes your ways. But I don't even think he was to the level of the PNM, the party, the PNM itself, political party, to have that type of influence. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. However, the salient point is this. Whatever issues you have with Minister Foster Cummins, I'm asking Mr. Watts, is it because you didn't get something, or you was to get something, or you was getting something and you ain't getting it no more, so you're displeased, and this is your way, I'm asking, to blackmail the Member of Parliament for Lahokita Talparo? I'm just asking a question because it's interesting to see. So now he's in his big yellow jersey. What's looking dim as a 40 watts bulb. And he's urging. And that is where I just find these people, like when you go to join the UNC, like something that's been missing from a cognition, like the electrolytes and the people who into neurology will know what I'm talking about. Like when they jump to the synapse, like it doesn't get across, it does drop in the middle, so the thinking don't connect. Because you're going to join the UNC in a big yellow jersey or shirt or whatever, right? But hear what you're saying. 11 hours ago, well, not 11 hours. UNC National Congress Lahokita Talparo candidate Philip Watts has called on PNM supporters to close the red door and enter the House of Yellow. Really? I could have called it a word here, I don't want to call it. We just said really, it starts with B and the 2 N word is CH. Because that's how we behave. Who going to follow you into this yellow door you're talking about from up Lahokita? The people already support the UNC. I'm just asking. So this boy, he doesn't start to look funny already in my mind. That's just me. I don't know if that's how he always look, but he start to look funny. Like when you join with him, it does just start to look funny. He is saying he called names after he said he want the PNM supporters to come in the yellow door, close the red one, enter the yellow house. His call came after former Prime Minister and People's National Movement political leader Dr. Keith Rowley called on heavy-laden UNC members to find rest with the PNM. And they will more find rest with the PNM than PNM going across the UNC, trust me. Speaking at the UNC cottage meeting in Lahokita Talparo, Watts, a former constituency chairman of the PNM, claimed that there were some negatives to the party he had been a part of for the last 14 years. And I haven't heard you say anything about the 14 years you've been there, what negatives it is. And again, I'm saying, is there anything you can be in that has only positives? Because human beings, it will have things that you may agree with or not agree with, but if you choose to stay in it, you don't have the moral authority now to come out and say, I've been there for 14 years, and it are negative things are going across anyway, and I go tell them all. No, it shows that you have no morals, you have no ethics. And whatever you think was wrong there, you partake in it. I'm just asking a question. So then, based on what you're saying, you've been an enabler for 14 years, so whatever negative you think that it has. So people need to question themselves and their credibility when they do things like that, right? Calling out PNM members was added. The PNM deserves a rest. The PNM has lost its way. They are no longer fit to lead TNT anymore. Fool me once, fool me twice, but never 3 times, vote them out. And as a mantra, they probably give him a script to read because it sounds very, very UNC-ish. What slammed the PNM candidate for the Hoketa Talparo, an incumbent MP Foster comments, he claims farmers' concerns were being ignored. The food basket he talks of is basically empty and the people are starving. There we go again, UNC, starving. I've not seen the hospital admitted anybody, whether child or adult, that say that they're suffering from starvation. Because when you're suffering from starvation, that goes to the next level, That is not just being hungry, I've never heard they say that anybody came to the hospital and suffering from malnutrition and leading to starvation. I haven't heard that. And if we had that, somebody that don't talk about it already, that 3 patients come in and they're suffering from starvation and they could see the bones and the ribs. We haven't heard that, right? He said that the food basket he talked of is basically speaking about MP Foster comments. He said the people are starving. Previous larceny is still on the rise and frustrated farmers can't manage their livelihood, What said residents of the area deserve an MP who was there for them. He related issues from a lack of water to poor infrastructure affecting residents. So the 14 years you're woken up and now with Foster Commons, you didn't know all these issues were happening. It just happened as you leave the PNM. Okay. People are crying out for food, asking me for hampers, he added. He claimed Cummins has not asked those whose homes are demolished in the area if they want a bottle of water, reciting the PNM slogan of "We love you, so we take good care of you." What's asked? What does that mean? How to starve and trick a nation? I think what you really deserve to be where you are to the UNC. You're very delulu. This is a disturbing reality of this constituency. Give yourself a chance to breathe. I'm here to shine a light through the dark tunnel. What's claimed, he heard that residents will be called by the Housing Development Corporation to be offered contracts to build roofs. This is for Mamagayu, but this isn't working here tonight. You seem to really be Lulu in truth and know what, because if persons, you say the people are suffering and they're starving and they're hungry and they can't make a livelihood. So every HDC is calling them to come in to do roofing contracts and all that. Whether in your opinion is Mamagai or not, they shouldn't go and take it. So then they're not hungry and they're not starving and they're not deprived of a livelihood. Because if I was starving and hungry the way that you say it was, I was running to get the contract because that would have helped me from being hungry and starving. So we need to break down when these fellas or these women and them talking, they're very disingenuous. So I'm not going to read much more because he joined with UNC tells me the type of individual that he is. No character, none at all. This is a Mamagayu, but that isn't working here tonight. So when they come knocking your door after 10 years saying things will be different, tell them it isn't working here tonight. And Jolene John went there and she gave out fridge and it was alleged fridge and so on that. And the Hokkita people took it. And they're still in vote fishing. So you can't tell people what ain't working and you can't tell them not to go and get the contracts. Yeah? Or put East MP Dr. Mulal, who accused former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley of leaving TNT worse than he met it, claim the 5 attorneys who approached to become attorney generals rejected the government's offer. But you know, if that is true, then the 6th one agreed. So what's the issue? We have an attorney general. And you're saying that the PNM left the country worse than the Metal? Never. Because when you all left Rural Munilal, this economy in 2015 were in a recession, corruption was at its highest, in my opinion. Contracts were paid for and work ain't done, or they give away contract for no, and the people into the work and take the money. The oil and gas companies was told drill, don't give me nothing until 2024. Mass layoff, because when Ole came in, it was alleged Ole fire all kind of people. Ole think was you PNM people from all the boards and all over. Ole closed on this, closed on that. So when the PNM came, the PNM met a country that was on the brink and was able to bring it back, even through COVID-19, that Ole could have never be able to do, because Ole don't have the skills, the experience, the ability, or the qualification to do what these doctors and nurses in this country would have done to save us, being led by Dr. Parasham, the Ministry of Health, and Dr. Keith Christopher, earlier scientist. So, as I say again, me and reader no more. And you can't question Madam Camille Robinson Regis about nothing. You don't have the moral authority. Because right now, you are involved as the line minister in housing in a EMBD matter where you have to go before a judge to give evidence, where the courts and they will say there's something to be heard here, and they speak about cartel-like behavior and the way the contracts were given. There are text messages in the judgment between yourself and some other people and all that. So you cannot, just like David Lee, can't tell we nothing in this country about nothing being on $1 million bail. You Rural Mudila, with all due respect, doctor, you can't talk to Madam Camille Robinson Regis about nothing. Go clear your name and come again. So I really don't know more of this because it's more the same. So what's looking like he light done dim already? That has happened to you when you join with UNC. They just suck the life out of you. All the energy just suck out because wicked and evilness that's be happening. So you stay right there. You is the one stay right there. UNC don't let him get away, or they'll get a good house Negro. So let me continue. So Mariana Brown, Shane Mohammed, and another one had a lot to say about the election that was called. Let me see if we could get them here.
Yesterday, you told the public that in coming months they'll be heading to the polls. A lot of people are speculating about the election date. You did your first assignment today as you shuffle in your cabinet. What can we expect? And you said coming months. So does that rule out the end of April as the election date?
Absolutely nothing is ruled out.
Less than 24 hours later, Prime Minister Stuart Young announced that the election will be held on April 28th. But analysts believe this announcement paints a picture of political strife within the People's National Movement and raised questions about the political value of a cabinet reshuffle.
To what end was the political reshuffle if you're going to call an election within 48 hours or less after the political reshuffle? Is there a political crisis that we are not yet aware of when it comes to the financial management of the economy?
Political analyst Dr. Shane Mohammed agreed that the installation of what he called a caretaker cabinet a day after Prime Minister Young took his oath of office points to instability.
It says to me that the government has become unsustainable. It could very well be that the rumblings within the party were never settled. It was always there, no matter how hard they tried to close ranks and show good standing and show face.
Economist and former PNM Finance Minister Mariano Brown suggests that former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's decision to remain as political leader, despite the election being called, was a strategic move to prevent Young from facing a coup.
By remaining as political leader, what Rowley is doing, in fact, is maintaining party discipline and essentially ensuring that he has Stuart's back. In other words, if there is any likelihood of any sort of coup that could take place before or during or after the election, he's in a position to stop it.
Meanwhile, Chair of the Council for Responsible Political Behavior, Dr. Vishnu Raghunath, is calling on all political parties, whether signatories or not, to uphold the Code of Conduct established in 2014 and commit to running a clean election campaign. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
All right. First of all, Shane Mohammed, I'm not going to call him doctor because I understand there was some query about whether his doctorate is real or not. Shane Mohammed. Why would I like to project what happened with all here on other people? The only party that's falling apart and having is the UNC. And I will come to show him because like he's not seeing that. And as for the other one, he wasn't in some jail or something in Panama because some bacchanal or something or some country. I'm glad he's out. And he I don't know if he's well or not. I wish him good health. All I can talk to people. And the next one, Mariona Brown. All I want to ask Mariona Brown is what is his opinion or his stance on domestic abuse? I'll be interested to hear what he thinks about domestic abuse. What is his stance on it? Is it something that we need to treat with, or if it's small thing, or what? I would like to hear his stance on domestic abuse, Mariona Brown. So let me continue to speaking about the PNM and fall apart and go. All homes does have issues. All. Daddy make a decision that mommy may not like. Two of the children side with daddy, two might side with mommy, and they're going down. But they reach a solution. When they sit down, they talk it out, they reach a solution. You might still be upset, but you see the bigger picture. You can't get the sneakers now because we need that money to pay a bill that we had there. So wear your old sneakers, we'll put some glue on it and wear it so. Mommy say, if when the bill did come, you did pay it, we will not reach in this situation. Daddy say, whether that is so or not, he's still ain't getting the sneakers because the money had to pay the bill. And next one say, but daddy, how I could buy sneakers for he? And look, I tell you, so long I want a book. And so they go in wherever, and then they sit down and they work it out. And you still might be upset you and get the sneakers, but you'll understand why daddy can buy the sneakers for you, right? Or you understand why daddy had to buy a sneakers for the next one and not the thing to buy for you because it happens. The PNM is an institution. If you tell me the PNM from 1956 to now never had any upheaval, I will tell you there's aliens in that. And I've seen show where they show aliens and all this are bacchanal. So if you show me a party that never have, it augurs well. It augurs well for transition to keeping the party fresh, for democracy and all that. When you have a diverse opinion, it's not drones. And if everybody agrees with what the executive or the PNM says and does and whatever it is, then the party will not grow. What makes the party grow is having the device views and opinions, and then they have the general council and whatever, and they work out the issues there and treat with it. And still it will come away from that. It will still have some who not happy, but they understand the bigger picture. So I don't understand where is the whole issue. But I come into UNC, and I want Shane Mohammed, Mariona Brown, and the next one, I want them to analyze politically the UNC. Leave the PNM alone. So, let me get this. Give me a minute. So, give me a minute, eh? This is Victor Roberts.
Blessed good morning to all. You know, I down in the bush and I seen about a planting field. trimming and taking out plants and so on. And thereafter, I have to cut about 350 corn for a buyer who will be coming around 10. Today, Wednesday, being about the 18th, I think. And I cannot help but think that now the election bell has been rung. What is the caliber of candidates that the leader of this party will present to the population? And I'm waiting to see the outcome of candidates like Rushton Parry, Anita Haynes, and Kyle Taklal Singh, my good friend. Young, bright attorney at law Kyle Taklal Singh. And I'm waiting to see if candidates like Barry Padarat, Ravi Ratiram, Anol Ram, Khadija Amin, David Lee, and about 3 or 4 other candidates, if they would be chosen and Anita, Rushton, and Kyle will be left out. I am waiting. And if this is the case, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make it clear that Victor Roberts would be out. And it would not be easy going forward. Because I'm afraid to speak about what is right and what is wrong. I know many people have problems because you know why? They are afraid of the truth. They cannot face reality. They cannot stand for what is right. So they believe that blind loyalty and hiding behind a fake profile make them a man or a woman. But that's a matter for them. And I am saying, ladies and gentlemen, I am waiting patiently. Because we have these 3 candidates, Rushton, Anita, and Kyle, with high code of ethics, transparent, full of integrity. So I'm waiting patiently to see the candidates that would be presented, and I will take it from there. I say no more for today. I out.
That is today he made that. I want them analysts and them all them Indira, Sajiwan, I'm not sure, I can't remember the right name, and all of them go and analyze what Victor Roberts now said today. Listen to this one. Could tell me about them. Yes, now. Give me. No, this one didn't. I didn't. This one didn't say this one. Let me say this one proper. So how come everything else saves now? Right. It now saves. So let me open it now. Here are you. This Trinidad Express. Where is it there today? Or they're not March the 19th? UNC Faizabad official quits, slams party leadership. Looky here. Just today. Victor Roberts made that video today. This man resigned today too. A United National Congress UNC Faizabad constituency executive member has become the latest to tender his resignation, adding to a trend of departures that has affected the opposition party over the course of the last few weeks. Alan Aaron Lutchman, who was Assistant Secretary to the Constituency Executive, yesterday wrote to the UNC National Congress Executive and political leader Kamla Pasabi-Sessa signaling his intent to resign from the position. The resignation took effect immediately after 25 years of unwavering service to the party, stated. I can no longer ignore the troubling realities that this once great political movement has strayed far from its founding principles. The UNC is no longer a functioning political party. It has evolved into a cult of personalities, more concerned with the unholy worship of its leader than with being a serious electoral force for change, he wrote. Lutchman, who served in the position since 2021, told the Express yesterday that he had been a loyal party member since former MP Chandra Sharma lost his seat or held his seat. Though he remains a party member, he said, in recent times he had noted a need for younger representatives and a refreshing of its membership. In his letter, Lushman cited the treatment of dedicated members and leadership issues as the cause of his departure. The treatment reflects a leadership that has lost touch with the values of democracy, inclusion, and accountability. I refuse to be complicit in an organization that prioritizes blind loyalty to an individual over loyalty to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I remain committed to the ideals that were once defined by the UNC, but I cannot, in good conscience, continue under the current trajectory, he said. Lodgman told the Express that he has not yet received a response from the party. He added that while he's still a member of the party, he plans to support Patriotic Front leader Michaela Pandler in the upcoming election. I read no more. I want Mariona Brown and then to go and analyze that. I go in again. What's going on with this? Where's this one? Just now out there. Sorry for the troops. You know, it's a Caribbean thing. It has chops. Let me see if I could get it up now. Right. 5 hours ago, it's not 5 hours, no, it will be a little later. Rai Ragbir, I think it's Dr. Rai Ragbir, resigns from UNC citing loss of values. Dr. Rai Ragbir, the Member of Parliament for Kumuta Manzalina, announced his immediate resignation from the United National Congress, expressing deep disappointment with the party's current direction. In a press release, Dr. Ragbir stated that the UNC no longer upholds the values that it once represented, and has become influenced by individuals whose conduct he finds deeply troubling. This resignation follows his earlier declaration not to seek re-election in the upcoming general election. Dr. Rabi emphasized that with his term as MP concluding, he sees no reason to remain affiliated with a party that has lost its moral compass. He reaffirmed his commitment to serving the people of Trinidad and Tobago in other capacities. Dr. Rabi's departure adds to a series of recent resignations within the UNC, notably former temporary Senator Jolie de Souza resigned 2 weeks ago, citing concerns over the party's leadership and a perceived lack of commitment to meaningful advocacy. Additional 4 members of the UNC Libraries constituency executive resigned last week, expressing dissatisfaction with the party's internal dynamics. Despite these departures, UNC leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar remains optimistic about the party's prospect in the upcoming general election. She characterized the recent resignation as orchestrated and asserted that they would not destabilize the party's campaign. That's our next Ms. Dululu. So that's our next one. That is what I want Shane Mohammed and all the analysts and political analysts, I want them to analyze them things. I go in again. Give me a minute. I want them to analyze this too.
I'm not sure too many in the congregation would have predicted that the pundit's Sunday service on the life of Hindu saint Tulsi Das would have pivoted to this.
I want to tell all you, do not make the mistake and vote for Kamala Persad-Bissessar and she team.
The pundit posited that the opposition leader and star slate are poor role models.
Look at the lifestyle. Is that what you want your children to become? That's what your children to be? They have done nothing for us.
And if that wasn't enough, he claimed the current UNC leadership has failed to meaningfully stand up for Indo-Trinbagonian people, a segment of the population which he said suffers tremendously at the hands of criminals.
She don't like Hindu people. Look at the UNC never helped one Indian person to get a permanent job. Poor Indians are suffering because of the UNC, because of Kamala.
I'm a life member of the UN. But if the UNC isn't serving me or serving my community, then who am I going to turn to?
Pandit Dubé said he saw potential in the young PNM candidate back then.
He needed assistance and I was there to help him because I saw promise in him for better Charlie Gill.
The pundit said his frankness about the UNC's conduct has won him no friends with loyalists, but he underscored he is no PNM operative.
Right? I want them to analyze that because what the pundit is saying is relevant. Still, let them analyze that. I'm going again. It's always up in PNM business. I'm going to find it just now. It is back on. All right, let me see. I want them to analyze this too. Give me a minute.
Let me say this tonight. The UNC cannot survive 2025. I am no longer interested in being a part of that bacchanal. I have my own bacchanal to deal with. Kamla Prasad Bisesa is not strong enough to pull her forces together. And while I was trying to help there to say that we will use that situation to break the PNM stranglehold, it looking like two sides of the same coin still. That ain't going nowhere, and the UNC cannot win. And I want no part of nothing with Gary Griffith and Peter George Jr. and the NTA bullshit. So clear about that. I want no part of Gary and his 4.5 Syrian party. None. So when I announced on March the 2nd that I was coming back as political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party and that I was going to work to get Kamala as Prime Minister, I thought that Kamala wanted to be Prime Minister, but she clearly doesn't. Because if she did, she would have all the powerful people sitting down around a table. But she's not, because the same little jackass clan that she have around her, Damian Lyda and Dave Tanko and the rest of the shit snakes and shithounds, that she thinks will get her into government, won't. And I know that they're making a good little piece of change sitting down there. But you see, when I put myself on the line, I wasn't expecting the black caucus of the PEP to get in an uproar because I went to support the UNC. So we get in our own little internals that we have to deal with here. But the difference between me and Kamala is I am very strong and I know how to take scalps and I have plenty scalps to take. I want to start with the toxic queen who was running her mouth inside the party. I want to let her know, baby, before you verify anybody else's business, verify how come your hair red in the day and the woman in Johnny Bravo car in the night in the passenger seat, hair not red. People asking, verify that for them now. While you macking other people's business, other people say no in your seat. So while you're trying to be toxic and cause problems for other people, problems find you. You understand, toxic queen? Call Christian De Leon or Daniel Jackson or whatever name he's going by today. You have that poor child walking around with a hard arm like a fool, thinking one day he's getting something from you. So he doing shit and talking shit for you as anonymous. Remember when he was anonymous? I pull him out with anonymous. But all right, let me get rid of the toxic queen who went and talked him out with all the black members of the PEP and try and get to turn them against us. You know what we found out in the past couple of weeks? Who are not for us. And that is good information because the Progressive Empowerment Party is strong. You see all the fight that's going on in this party and all the drama, people want to be counted, people want to have the say. The difference between this and the NTA is if tomorrow NTA stop, they wouldn't even have a wet spot on the seat. The 4.5 Syrians will go away. And who they have left? Who else is there? Gary, his employees, his children. Who's the NTA? Philip Alexander built a party that fought at the general election with enough candidates to take on a special majority. But let's talk about my candidates. Because I've seen fellas like Maurice Dongs and Dominic Lopez gain and Ridula talk. All they know all the place, you know. Because I can tell them where I pull all the from to put all the there and put a pep shirt on all the. Don't disrespect the founders of the party, you know. And Ridula is one of the founders of this party. Henry Dulal, Ian Griffith, Harry Hunt, Philip Alexander. And then there are newcome founders who sweat blood and tears for this party.
Jesus, Lord. Jesus, take the wheel, excuse me. Too much to tell Jesus. I wonder if he's the reason why people running out of the UNC. I just asked him because after all them things he say, he right back with the UNC. And I wonder if you hear that man breathing hard at that. Listen to me now. Let me continue. So while all of them eating up and talking about the UNC and who running from the UNC and dropping out from the UNC, the PNM doing its work and people are seeing that. But the analysts and them are seeing that part. They see nothing wrong with the UNC. They only focus on the PNM. And you know why? Because you don't pelt mango, you don't pelt stone at green mango. And the PNM is a juicy mango tree. Everybody want to get in on some. So while them saying all that and eating up themselves, because all they must know, as somebody say, you must know the next side. That is the artist who sang Take Me Home. He said they don't talk the next side, only talking the negative side. So here, next side. And this is from Martin George. And this was, hi Rosemary, hi Val. March the 18th, Tobago Chamber says PNM in position of strength for elections. Tobago Chamber head on an attorney at law, Martin George, says the ruling People's National Movement is entering the general election from a position of strength. Let me try and pronounce the word properly, because if he was talking, strength and readiness. I must practice this. If I could imitate his voice, I would see. While the opposition and other parties are still trying to get their houses in order. He said the April 28th date is part of PNM's election strategy. His comments come after Prime Minister Stuart Young announced the election day just a day after being sworn in. One can only imagine that the intention and thinking behind the calling of the elections with such a short lead time is definitely intended to catch the opposition, maybe either unawares, or maybe flat-footed, or maybe at least certainly not ready yet with their full list of 41 candidates, George said. The UNC has yet to confirm its full slate of candidates and has already indicated it will not contest the seats in Tobago. George believed that this could be a strategic move by the PNM, capitalizing on the opposition's lack of preparedness. Of course, there is more than ample time for the opposition to be able to get their house in order in terms of finding suitable and, I guess, choice of candidates here. The UNC has been forming alliances with groups like the Trade Union Movement, the Progressive Empowerment Party, but George believes that this is far from the strong coalition seen in past elections. The reality is that this is nothing close to, the One Love movement, like the One Love movement of 1986, where there was that groundswell of uniting our forces against the incumbent government. So there's nothing like that here. He also noted that the TPP and the PDP in Tobago was still struggling to finalize candidates, which shows further disorganization amongst opposition forces. With election season officially underway, George says all sides will now turn to making promises, but the electorate will ultimately decide which party has the credibility to deliver. So that's from Sir Martin George here, from one of the chamber in Tobago, business chamber. Let me continue. So this is Mr. Lala SC down at the celebrations on Sunday, Woodford Square, the PNM celebration at Sunday, the launching of its 41 candidates after their.
So this is the Forward with Forward team representing candidate MP Esmond Ford Putunapuna. We have here Larry Lala. Mr. Lala, tell us how you feel today seeing all the supporters coming out.
I think it's a very historic event. I sense great energy among the crowd. I think everyone is looking on with bated breath to hear what the Prime Minister has to say in this, his last speech, and it is something very historic. It's good to see that the young people are out because, when you get older, this is something you will have to tell your children about. When a sitting Prime Minister voluntarily gave up office and made way for somebody younger.
So I know you're from the El Dorado area.
Absolutely.
Tell us what you think about the MP for Tunuku.
Well, anywhere you go in El Dorado, and even among my own family, MP Ford knows everyone. They all know him. They love him. And I think he's the only choice going forward for Tunapuna.
Yeah, well, you heard it here, guys. So we're moving forward with Ford for 2025.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Right.
Lava. Bye.
Okay. That is the reputable lawyer, who would have been one of the persons who brought some stock to the UNC. He has walked away. He was down there in the PNM thing on Sunday, and you hear what he says. I want the analysts and them to analyze that. But Mariana Brown answer first. Where is your stance on domestic violence? So Shane Mohammed and Arjun and whoever and Indira or Indara, if I pronounce it wrong, you know me a name, analyze them thing. Let me continue. So this is one called Suzette Lowy. That's what they call she. An activist, I think, for the UNC, I'm not sure. At one time she joined with Juke and then PDP and something. So this is what she said. So this story about Stuart Young being a bully in school, I'll come into that. So before I read this story, let me just say this. A story recently resurfaced on Facebook. 2 clippings from the Mirror concerning an incident while Prime Minister Stuart Young was at school in St. Mary's. It is alleged that but it wasn't him alone apparently. And when I read Livewire's article, that apparently the person who is Livewire, it sounds to me, also went to St. Mary's. And when you read about not the incident with Prime Minister Young, who was a student then, but like the whole school, like that whole boys' school, like, I don't know, them was on to testosterone or something them was on, because who taking advantage of who taking ball away from who when they playing, who hitting who kicking who beating who teasing who. So like that whole school had real issues, right? Based on how I read that thing, because I said, well, what the hell is this? And that was back in the day. So this story has emerged now with clippings from the newspaper to show that Prime Minister Stuart Young was involved in a bullying incident with another student at St. Mary's, and that student would have taken a baton. I don't know if the student brought it to school or not, and he fined, I'm going to say Stuart Young in the context of school. Stuart Young, and he let out the rage on Stuart Young. I don't know if he bust up his head, whatever it is, but hit some blows and whatever. I was told, and the person who told me this, I'm confident that they're telling me what they're saying is true. Apparently, his sister would have posted those things on Facebook. And then it is alleged after she saw the conversation, because then they took it from there and put it on Kick Out the PNM page, which it is alleged is a UNC page. And people were making their comments, well, 500 and something comments and shares and whatever. And I think she was saying she didn't put it there for no political thing and all that. But good grief, yes, you did, in my opinion. Because after 30-something plus years, whatever it is, that incident happened to your brother. Minister Stuart Young has been in public life as a lawyer, and then when he came into politics, since back 20, wherever. How come he never dropped that conversation for people to see? He was a senator in opposition. He became the member of parliament for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, nothing. He became the Minister of National Security, Minister Energy, Minister of this, Minister of nothing. As now when he's been tasked with the position of Prime Minister of this country, you drop that and saying it wasn't a political thing. I'm saying that is why you put it there. So at the end of the day, Prime Minister Young has addressed this situation. But this is what Susan Lowy had to say, and then I'll read the release that Prime Minister Young would have put out. So this story about Stuart, before I read it again, I want anybody here who listening now to tell me if when them was going to school, whether primary school or secondary school, that they weren't a part of teasing. We used to call that teasing law. time. We don't know no bullying, nothing. Teasing and interfering verbally with another student. It mightn't be you, but it might be a friend of yours, whatever. If you don't know somebody's a cuss in school, fight in school, break beach, or nothing. I want to know if you only had perfect angels who used to be in school long time. And I want to know if those children who did that, as adults, they become successful. Are you going to go back in time and use that now against the person because that person was a child at the time? And a lot of factors could have led for them behaving like that. So you're going to use that. So you know what? Let me go right back to when you was a baby and you used to do in your pampers. Let me use that against you when you become in office and say, look, because he used to do in the pampers as a little baby, now he's a sick man or he look at the character and all them kind of things. That what we're going to do? Or is it now we're going to simply just start to put up people name all who did this in school and did that in school? School wasn't easy. Some children had challenges. Some children went through a lot of trauma and whatever, coming from different spaces, being socialized differently, peer pressure, being wanted to be a part of a group for whatever reason. But this incident happened since back when the Prime Minister was 17 years old. If you were to ask students who went to school with me, they would say, Jennifer, I used to cuss. Every word out my mouth was cuss. And you know what? When I got my recommendation from school, I was never suspended, expelled, anything because I was not rude to no teacher, nothing at all. I played steel pan. I represented the school in steel pan in netball, music festival. I was an all-round student. But when I talking to my peers in school, we cussing. In fact, I cussing. I was Miss Cussball. So you're going to hold that against me and bring it back to say what? Anywho, so as I continue. So this story about Stuart, this is Susan Lowy, about Stuart Young being a bully in school is the new buzz conversation. It is fair to say that bullying is a terrible behavior, no exception. But if Stuart Young had not been appointed PM, would the story have come out? And I said no. I will say no. And while I'm saying all this, I don't condone bullying or teasing of another student until it reached the way to have fight. And I don't condone that, but I'm saying those things happen. Do we use that against somebody who was 17 years old, now 51 years old, who have been successful and contributing to the society? Do we go back and drag up that and use that against them? I think not. He has been a public figure for a decade and no mention of this before. I have paid a great deal of attention to Young and I have not seen him as a bully in public life. I'm not saying that he wasn't a bully in school, nor am I discounting his behavior. I read it just as she said, right? So I wouldn't put in the SC and the Prime Minister. But saying he is a bully now suggests that he displays such behavior today. I don't agree. I find him approachable and civil. I can call Stuart 100 names, but bully, based on his behavior today, is not one of them. People grow up and mature. I am sure you all have done things in our youth we regretted. The UNC is trying to sell this narrative that his Zami comment was an example of bullying. And they know damn well it was not. But let's say it was. Young apologized to the nation. Whether it was genuine or not is another story. But Kamala Persad-Bissessar has made many sectarian and racist comments. Has she ever apologized? What does that tell you? There's not one apology or explanation from Persad-Bissessar on record. I'm sorry, but she said not. But I'm not judging Stuart Young as an adult based on Stuart Young as a child, especially when I have seen no evidence of him being a bully in public life. And I too concur to what she says. So Prime Minister Young would have commented on the issue, which he should because it's out there and we don't hide. PNM don't hide from nothing. We don't hide from nothing. So this was 2 hours ago. It has been attributed to Stuart Young RSC, March 19, 2025. The issue of bullying in this country is unfortunately real and one that I take very seriously as a father and now Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. It is deeply unfortunate that an incident which occurred when I was a teenage schoolboy has resurfaced in a way that does not allow for a full and fair discussion. The incident was traumatic for everyone involved. People are shaped by their experiences, and I have no intention of minimizing anyone's feeling, even my own, on this matter some 33 years later. The public's interest is not served by politicizing an issue as sensitive as bullying, which deserves thoughtful discussion and meaningful solutions. Let's focus on writing the next chapter in which we work to ensure that our schools are safe spaces where all children can feel protected and get the support that is needed. That is my commitment to Trinidad and Tobago. So said, as I said, Minister Siotong, SC, who is Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And I concur. We're moving on. We're moving on. Yes, Miss Merle, I said, what sailor boy? I think it had another word for me. Yes, Papa? So, while we speak about the corruption of the UNC and the things that they're doing and the falling apart we see in front of our, I want to tell you something. Don't get caught up in that, you know. Don't get caught up and get comfortable in that what they're saying there, you know. Because when the bell is ring, strange things are happening, or people just crawl back together, all this still like quicksilver will drop and you can't separate, it just come back down together. Don't get complacent with that, you know. When April 28th come, make sure they go out and vote resoundingly, go out early and vote, you know. The EBC has put up their website, let's say you could go and check on it to see if your name there and register. Check your ID card to make sure that it is in order. Check all the identification that you could use to when you go to the polling station, that it ain't ready to expire and all them things, you know. Get yourself prepared and bring out the little train, everybody. When I say little train, the 18-year-old who voted first time, bring out them young ones and them, you know. Don't sit down and go, oh God, well, the UNC ain't going, nobody go vote for them. Let me tell you something. The UNC voters, they care about that bacchanal we're going on in UNC where people dropping out every day, you know. Them going and vote like drones, you know. Them going and vote, them is the one who's really the sycophant and the fanatics, you know. Them don't care the UNC falling apart, you know. It's votes that the UNC dependent on to win. They men studying who leave, Victor Roberts leave, and this one leave. Them is only one vote, you know. UNC don't care about Victor Roberts or them, you know. Them only is the supporters who are sure they're getting how much seat, 18 seat or something, you know. So let's sit down there and say, oh God, Bacchanal, it's good for entertainment and thing, but don't get caught up with that. Go out and vote resoundingly for the People's National Movement and the member of parliament in the area who's a PNM. Don't get up. So, let me forget what I was going to talk about. Just not remember. That's why I have my little thing. Right. So, Senator Ansel Dennis, so as I was saying, while we are talking about the things that the UNC has done wrong to this country, we must also speak about what the PNM has done while we must vote back the PNM into office. It is important. And on a lighter note, all you know, Tuesday, the 18th of March for Playway. 28 play 10 a.m. 1 p.m. 28 play again with a red ball. 4 p.m. 12 play. So people who ain't to play with, the pocket must be that fat because 28 is redfish. The election date is the 28th. 28 is king and 12 is king. Minister Stuart Young is a king. Prime Minister, yeah. Dr. Rowley was a king also, you know where it go. So anyways, so this is what Senator Ansel K. Dennis would have written. The choices in this general election is clear. Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the past, and Stuart Young and the future. Kamala represents all corrupt and failed leadership, a relic of the past, who presided over the worst scandals in our nation history. Here are just a few memorable scandals that this country suffered through under the UNCPP administration. One, the EMBD corruption scandal, where over 400 million in rigged and inflated contracts were awarded to selected contractors. Two, life sports scandal, where instead of helping young people, 400 million was funneled to criminals, strengthening gangs, the effect of which we are still feeling today. Three, Prison Gate, where a clique of UNC lawyers, I wonder if them as the brilliant UNC lawyers she talking about who will take Minister Stuart Young, SC, well, Prime Minister SC to court. I just asked him. Prison Gate, where a clique of UNC lawyers enrich themselves and accomplices to the tune of millions of dollars through fraudulent prison abuse claims. Many of these Cases were settled quickly with significant sums paid out by the state. Rishmi Gate, where the appointment of an unqualified political puppet, Rishmi Ramnarayan, as SSA director caused chaos in this country. Section 34 scandal, where a secretly proclaimed law was designed to allow UNC financials to escape corruption charges. These are only a few of a long list of scandals which took place in her government, and her government is Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. In her government, while she spent most of her days asleep or inebriated in the Pink Palace. On the few days that she awoke from her slumber, it was to lead her cabinet to approve unscrupulous decisions, such as the $6.8 million to recover a fire truck. Apparently for them, public office is an opportunity to steal, wheel, and deal. She is now desperately clinging to the political life, propped up by a coalition of personal interests, including her Tobago puppet Fali Auguste, who betrayed Tobagonians by giving away our scarce resources to friends of Kamala and the UNC. Tobago must reject them all. In contrast, Stuart Young represents a new generation of leadership, firm, decisive, and committed to national development. Under the PNM, Stuart Young has played a key role in securing the nation's energy future, negotiating critical gas agreements that protected our economy, strengthening national security, leading the initiative to combat crime, improve border security, and modernize law enforcement, driving economic resilience, ensuring financial stability through global challenges. Well, Prime Minister Stuart Young embodies the future of leadership, strong, decisive, and corruption-free. This election is about moving forward with a young, dynamic team of fallen. Let me read this again. Prime Minister Stuart Young embodies the future of leadership, strong, decisive, and corruption-free. This election is about moving forward with a young, dynamic team of falling back into the chaos and corruption of Kamala's pickup side of corruption and convenience. Reject Kamala, reject corruption, vote for leadership that develops and stabilizes during difficult times. Vote the People's National Movement. So that there is from Senator Ansel Dennis, who is the political leader of the Tobago PNM. So let me play a little song. People have songs now, don't get tired now. I do not have the copyright to the song, but Dominic ain't go mine. And all you know, Dominic Romain is the Paliwag. So
We rockin' with Roman, Dominic, Roman, PNM, Roman, PNM, Roman, 7 Sarah Killer, D, relevant with trigger. Even the blind see progress, we always deliver. And much as our people pressing, you're a public figure. The youth wanna be like you when them get bigger. Come on in, Roman, Alaba, Mousika, cherry your name. Come on in, throw me like oil on water forever. You on top of your game. Come on in, I say my finger for you, cause you know, come on, no fame. Come on in, throw me in PNM, say leadership in you, and we see the same. Them I call you activist, when you're an advocate, a village and candidate, always ready to activate. Your file is squeaky clean, you use them and map the place, although your air's on the ground. You're up to date, you never hard to read, that's why we can relate. Educate the youth and them, teach them how to navigate, job and skill you put in place, pave the road and train the place. For a brighter future you will see face. Come on in, Roman, Alaba, Mousika, cherry in your name. Come on in, throw me like oil on water forever, you on top of your game. Come on in, I say my finger for you, cause you know, come on, no fame. Come on, pro main PNM, see leadership in you, and we see the same. You are the full package, and not just politician, family and friend in one, with the power to expand. Training mentorship program, grooming the children from young. Tell to stand up on business, must support the businessman. Don't afraid to engage. Yeah, man, you understand what the people and them need. What is the position? Your drive here in the heart of the opposition. Right after you try, you is the man. Come on, Rome, Alabama, Mousy, catch her in your name. Come on, Rome, like oil and water forever. You want to buy your game. Come on, have faith. My finger for you, cause you know, come on, no faith. Come on, Rome, PNM, see leadership in you, and we see the same. I say, yeah. Oh, Dominic, stain your finger, Dominic Romain, Malaba Mousuka. Fear them forever, Alize forever.
So people, that is we boy Dominic Romain, the candidate, the constituency is now called Malaba Mousuka, or they bring it home for deceased Lisa Maureen Julian and her 2 children who would have died tragically. She was most loved, and it was Mousuka. It was Omera Dabadi. I think that was the name of the constituency before. And let's do this for Lisa. Let's do this for MP Lisa Maureen Julian. Mousuka Malaba, come out and give her that. Let her look down from heaven where she is and smile to see yes. And let Dominic continue the work that she had started. And I know he is dedicated. I know he's committed. I know he's a people person in his quiet way and stuff. So let us give Dominic that support. So that was Dominic song. You know, everybody had a song and things. So I wanted to put a plug for that so people Malaba Mousuka, go out and give your support. Vote for your candidate, Dominic Romain. Bring it home for Lisa Maureen Julian and her children. God rest her soul. Yeah? Let me do this thing. Let's do this. So, when Senator Ansel Dennis spoke about the 2 leaders, now we don't have nothing, I don't have nothing against elderly people because me myself, this year me go be, what did I call them, senior citizen. I go be 60 this year, so I can't vex with old people because they will start to call me, they don't call me old already, but they will call me old ma. So I don't have an issue with old people because sometimes there are some people who are aged, but you know, they could connect with the young people still, they still have a vibes and that kind of thing. So they still have those. There are some stuck in the ways that have different people. So I don't discount aged person, they are mature. But Senator Ansel Dennis, when he would have spoken about the difference between Kamra Prasad Visesa and Prime Minister Sciotto, it doesn't just have to do with age. It has to do with ability. It has to do with character. Those are the things. It has to do with experience in terms of what have you brought to the country? What would you have benefited to this country, whether in a couple of years or 5 years or 10 years? What would we have done? And Minister Sciotto would have done a lot, especially in the energy sector. He was one of the lawyers, I think, was involved in the one of them big case and thing, you know, between money. I think it's the Piaco or one of them cases. He has been there doing as well because he's also a trained attorney at law. So he has been there. The labor movement doing very well, you know, because he do case and thing for Roger. When Roger nearly lost, he walked up in Trinma, it was, or something. So yeah, where he was a senior worker and a man on the charge of get damaged and they try to hide it up and all kind of thing to pay the man money, you know, me say them thing, yeah? To pay the man money and all kind of thing, whatever. Yeah? I think Minister Sciotto at the time handled that and other cases and stuff. It came into public life in terms of politics and all that. And so those are the things that Senator Ansel Dennis was speaking about, what they have brought to this country and stuff. Kamra Prasad Visesa has really brought pain, you know. corruption back on every Monday morning. Not we say so as McConnell Dagger say never so much thieving and corruption. MSJ say is a kleptocratic government, and Sir Roger make a whole he address to the nation and when he talking about what camera and them do to the security, what they do to corruption and oh God. Philip Alexander talk about she drunk and she thing and he go work with the PNM, they never get back. The Abdullah, oh God, Jesus, Lord have mercy. And now we see what happened, everybody falling out from the party. So Senator Ansel Douglas was speaking about when you look at the two leaders, chalk and cheese. If you're looking for future, you gotta go with young, and not because of the age, because of the vibrancy, the energy, yeah, and what it could bring to the table. Kamala don't bring nothing to the table more than corruption. So I'm going to show you all what we see when we see Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Is unfortunate. This is what we see when we see Kamala Persad-Bissessar. I'm gonna make sure it comes up. Oh, you see that? Oh, you want to play it again? I'm going to play it again. That's what people see when they see Kamala Persad-Bissessar. I'm going to play it again.
This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. Looks like a girl, but she's a flame.
Now you tell me. Then Philip Alexander said,
This girl is on fire.
Then Philip Alexander, somebody said this is elderly abuse if she and her family to come and think so Kamala Persad-Bissessar looking all here. Now when you look at Minister Stewart or Prime Minister Stewart, look at the difference. Look at the difference. So if you see me slouching and become a backside, I'm sitting on a stool. So look at the difference. Give me a minute to read it down. Hey. Just so. Okay, let me find it down here. It must be somewhere here. When you look at Prime Minister Stewart, look what you see.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me there. Oh yeah. I'm say money gonna find me there. Blessings gonna find me there. Oh na.
I'm playing it again because have you all ever seen Kamala Persad-Bissessar walking and campaigning in she constituency? Is it because she just know she don't have to do nothing, they go still vote for she? But have you all ever seen her walking in her constituency, greeting her constituents? I'm playing it again.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me there. Oh yeah. I'm say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na.
That's what we see when we see our member of parliament. That's what we see when we see the Prime Minister Minister Stuart Young S. That's what we see: vibrancy, life, togetherness, love, excitement. When you watch Kamla Prasad Bissessa, you start to feel frail and old. Or let's say that woman looking boy. Somebody, she family can really come and get she injured. As the person says, that is a really abused boy. That this woman or this still boy. Die right. And again, it's something to do with age. Because look at Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, I think, older than Kamla Prasad Bissessa, and don't walk so. She always clutching the security woman boy, and this woman, I told me that is not compromising this woman. Because if she's the security and she has to be the human clutch, well, probably that what she's being paid for. I don't know. But I tell you, that's what we're seeing. So when Senator Ansel Dennis speak in comparison, Prime Minister Young, Kamla Prasad Bissessa wants to become the next Prime Minister of this country. It's chalk and cheese, and then when they study all the corruption, the bacchanal, everybody leaving, Lala leave, this one leave, that. Every day somebody leaving that party. Come now, man, so I tell all you again. Check to make sure your ID card in order. Go and get the link to EBC to check to see that your name on the list. Don't get caught up with all the bacchanal and UNC who dropping out and falling out and tell all themselves we're in order and we win. We win nothing yet. Crowd don't win no vote. So watch the crowd and vote. First go and borrow God we win. That has to translate and people going and vote. You actually have to go and vote. Let the crowd for voting be there. Let it be historic this year. The year of the Jubilee. The year that the first time in how much years all the stars are aligned. Let it be special this year in Trinidad and Tobago, where we have a large voter turnout to make it historic. Because as historic things happened this year, first time in the history a Prime Minister would have resigned. Nobody didn't force him out. Nobody didn't write no petition to get him out. Nothing. He on his own decided to resign and hand over. Where have we ever seen that in this country? That is historic. Don't let that moment pass, you know. Be a part of history, you know. Be on the proper side of history, you know. Decide where you vote for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, that they don't turn around and ball all the wicked and leave we with Kamla Prasad Bissessa and Barry Paradat and David Lee and Ratiram. Take it in turn around. Be sure when they turn around, they say, great-great-granny, my great-great-granny, my great-great-granny, grandfather, my grandmother, my mother, my father, left we in good hands. Young, capable hands, with a young team, energetic and dedicated. And it have a sprinkling and mature between, because you can't leave out the mature. We have Mrs. Camille Robinson, who is our age. We have Miss Penelope Beckers. We have those there, we have the young ones, we have Ms. Shamfa Kojo Lewis, Ms. Ayana Webster Roy, we have Senator Renuka, we have Senator Ansel Dennis. In Tobago, we have Minority Leader Kelvin Morris. And the list goes on. We have Councillor, I think Petal is her name, if I'm not mistaken, and so many others, mixed with the mature and all that. We see progress, vibrancy, we see togetherness, we see moving forward as a team, as a country. We always say that PNM is African people alone, and nobody else but Africa could run that. We had the blackest man running PNM, the blackest man. And all the costly man, all this all kind of thing, he too black, he too ugly, all kind of thing. Well, now you know what we have? We have a man of mixed heritage, Indian and Chinese. Where is all the complaint now? All they still can be having no complaint. All they still can be telling me what it's supposed to be a black man to run the party. All they could never say that. Because when the blackest man was there, all they cost the man, make up lie on the man, all they do the man, all kind of thing, and he stayed steadfast in his duty to make sure Trinidad to be on the right path. Now they have a Prime Minister of mixed heritage. What they say, no, what they want. So before I leave, let me just play this for them, because I tell you, everybody had a song and had a tune and I busting tune. So whoever had a big tune and things sent it by me, it busting on my thing, and I don't have the rights and all that to the music, but oh God, I we thing, I we music. Yeah?
Starting. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let up at all. Let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security. When I hear it, I didn't believe it, I went and checked it, they say he has it. We have a new leader. Security. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security. When I hear it, I didn't believe it, I went and checked it, they say he has it. We have a new leader, he's strong with real power, the best in Trinidad, tell them great faces, security. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security. He's the future, Prime Minister, with so much bigger, we can't get better. The sector called energy, he rescued that for me. Then he fights for more money to put billions in the treasury. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security. I cannot tell you, he's poverty empty, handle the demands, the country in good hands. It will be there to show, the economy will grow, negativity will go, that's how their fortune will go. Security. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security.
Let's come together and support our leader
so things could get better
with a brighter future.
Young and old have gathered around everywhere that he touched down. Effective leadership and love. In TNT, we love him so. Security. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security.
Sweet, I don't care, play that again. I remember Parliament only happiest. Take that, and the Prime Minister, take that, security. I'm going again, and then
Security. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security. When I hear it, I didn't believe it, I went and checked it, they say he has it. We have a new leader, he's strong with real power, the best in Trinidad, tell them great faces, security. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he is like a rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young, security. He's the future, Prime Minister, with so much bigger, we can't get better. The sector called energy, he rescued that for me. Then he fights for more money to put billions in the treasury. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let's up at all, let's answer when we call security. But he ain't got no wrong. He always vibrant and is strong. Energetic and he young, dirty. I'm gonna tell you, he's about TNT. Hand to the demons. The country in good hands. It will be there to show the economy will grow. Negativity will go. That's how their fortune will go. Start it, 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 start it. A man with energy, always check the TV. So let up at all, let's answer when we call. But he ain't got no wrong. He always vibrant and is strong. Energetic and he young, dirty.
Let's come together and support our leader
So things could get better
with a brighter future.
Young and old have gathered around everywhere that he touched down. Effective leadership and in TNT, we love him so. Shorty, a man with energy, always check the TV. So let up at all, let's answer when we call. Shorty, but he ain't got no wrong. He always vibrant and is strong. Energetic and he young, dirty.
People, April the 28th, we have a date. Don't be late. Get up early, 6 o'clock in the morning. Say a prayer to your father, your mother, because we must praise Mama. Yeah? Not only father, we must praise Mama too. Say your prayers, get something to eat, something to drink. Watch me. If you ain't have it on the maxi and then you have something to eat and something to drink, go down to the polling station, line up, those study how long the line is. We want the line to be long because it means to say a great voter turnout. Vote resoundingly for the member of parliament in your area, the PNM member of parliament. UNC can't do it. They had opportunity in 2010, they had a golden opportunity, 29 seats. All kind of parties should now call and pop up, come and join together. So it had a big spectrum. Everybody said the voice will be heard. It had TOP from Tobago, it had NJAC, it had MSJ, it had, oh God, what it didn't have is we forget to have 29 seats, and all the things she do is to make a law to free two UNC financiers, H. Garran Singh and C. Ferguson, one of them dead, no God rest his soul, to free them from charges in America from the airport scandal, massive scandal, where people don't make jail in America and pay back money. That's the only thing they do. And Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley led the largest march and have a civil society that has to repeal it, but at the end of the day, if you don't make the law, lawyers go say, well, they can't disenfranchise my two people because no change rules, so they get away. America was assured that these two men will go and face the extradition. The bright lawyer, the one who Belly is having problem with right now, say they will face the courts down here. The Americans believe and they never face no court. That's what they want, lie and deception. They're talking about crime, but they lock up over 9,000 African youths around the Nelsons and the Beatham and the Piccadillys and all that with no charge. Lock them up, you go find things to charge them with after. And then the same bright lawyer come back when in opposition, and the same law they make to lock up them African youth without charge, come back and charge the state for illegally locking them up, boy. And they win money. Come now, man. Roger, who joined with, that stink dirtiness. He say all kind of thing, but you want them so. When them with woman, them does bad talk, man. And then run back with the same woman, they bad talk. Dirtiness, I just call them, they stink. So they right up under she crutch, figuratively speaking. Yeah? That's what they want in this country. They have a young, vibrant Prime Minister now to take it to the next level. All they always about give young people a chance. Well, he name young and he young. So give him a chance. Give him a chance. And only they want nothing black and too black will only get mixed heritage. No way. So the problems again, people don't get caught up at UNC and who dropping out and who making video and who saying UNC this and then thinking, let me tell you something, don't get talk with that. PNM people encourage other people to come out and vote. We're hungry for the People's National Movement. Let's make history. Let this be history. Let me do it for Lisa Murray and Julian. God rest her soul. Let us do it for Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, who gave 40-something years service of his life to this country. Let us bring it home for him too. And let us bring it home for the young man. The young man, we always want young, well, we get young now. Let me bring it home now. So we train and we future. Yeah? People, let me see all who here. Give me a minute. This thing just come up and block everything. Move quick. So let me see all who here. Oh God, this one have, I don't know who name is that. I'm misleading me calling all them name. I just saying Dove. Joel and one write in Arabic or some kind of thing. I don't know what you write there. I don't know who you are, but good evening. Diane, Shirley, Sylvester, Sharon, Gertrude, you know, long meaning that name. My grandmother was Geraldine. And my great-grandmother was Georgiana. Mel, I know that name. That's one of my colleagues, one of my acquaintances. I wouldn't tell only from where. Missy Melda Lynch Griffith, she whole name. Paul Dandy, Shiva, Natasha, Laura, that's my whole friend, I'm an English teacher. If only mispronounce words, Jesus Christ. Woo! And when you say I'm mispronouncing words, I just get a lecture after because I didn't check with she and all kind of things. Look, she not easy. Mahabir, thanks for coming, darling. Andre Hoggy, Hogster, well, you good? So, Miss Angela Rodriguez, here, she love me, but I love you too, darling. Roxanne, always there with me, always. You know, that's how I do this, but I love all yeah. Joy, Ragunana, and others always see Joy coming and give me a little shout out. Anne-Marie, Gloria, Lydia, Lazar, Green. Oh God, let's overdo it. Jenny, Cara, Ricardo, Hollister, Margaret, Colicia, Herbert, Joseph, Cicely, Papa, Cicely Jr., hey. Glennis, Cheryl, my whole friend from Pune, Christopher, Joanne, Camille, Michelle, Lorna, Ortiga, Manette, Dave, Hamilton, Sherma, Jennifer, Angela, Raymond, Katia, Raymond, Felicia, and she whole name. Joycelyn Small White, and her Dara Lambert. I don't even try with the first name because I might say something wrong. Maureen, Charles, my whole family from Pune, Ingrid, Robert, and Marlene. I live in a address. I ain't saying the middle name, I just refer. Refer. Thank you all for always coming and stay tuned. Let me tell you something again. I'm saying Miss Angela Marcel Figaro say Jenny PNM elderly people on the ground in Trinidad St. Stuart should have proved himself as PM and call election after. Tell them, darling, it has something called strategy. And a strategy is not a strategy if everybody knows it. There's something called strategy. Because tell them this seminar, tell them the Prime Minister of Canada, which is a bigger country than ours that have millions and millions and millions and millions of people, their Prime Minister that was voted by the Liberal Party, he had no experience in politics. He's a banker. Imagine that. So he didn't have to prove himself to be a Prime Minister of Canada, a big, big, big country like Canada, before, and they're going to be election is going to be triggered now that he has been voted as the Prime Minister when Justin Trudeau, who was the Prime Minister, resigned in January. So tell him that for me, Ms. Figaro now. Tell him he don't have to prove himself like that because in Canada they didn't do. The man is a banker, he proved himself as a banker and they think he has what it takes to go to the next level. He knows nothing about politics. We are fortunate that Minister Stuart Young knows about politics. He has been in politics for a while. He has served as minister in different portfolios. Yes, when the Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, out of the country, he would have filled in for Dr. Rowley and he would have done it. So he has the experience, yeah. But I understand what you're saying, but take into consideration strategy, right? So tell them don't worry themselves, don't make that deter them because he has 40 other colleagues that would be there, different various. You have the AG who's well versed in whatever to there, so you'll have support, right? Don't worry yourself. But we know he can do the job, so tell them don't worry yourself. We want them to come out and vote still, right? Love you all. I'm coming with a segment. Jenny, please enjoy your say night. Thank you, darling. I'm coming with a segment soon. I'll let you all know. I didn't get a chance to really formulate it proper yet. But we are talking about that. So people see you all on Friday, goes when I come with something, press something new. This year, girl Jen, sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you don't get formal, it's mission of a federal and not edition, will be talking thing. And if only then hear it, only hearing it, and now we moving with.
Shorty. A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, but answer when we call. Shorty. But he is got a rock, he always vibrant and is strong. And I check it and he young, dirty. When I hear it, and they believe it, I went and check it, they say he read it. We have a new leader. Shorty. A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, but answer when we call. Shorty. But he is got a rock, he always.
When I hear Rowdy quit, I really couldn't believe it. Who they going to replace him with? I call him, call me back. He say, Coco, we have it done back. He says, son, we come to a decision. We off